Hello, everyone. It's Cal Gould here again with another interview with a person involved in ball hockey from quite a few years ago. We're going to get a better understanding and perspective on the women's ball hockey side. So let me ask who I'm here with today. Who are you and where are you from?
My name is Alexis Hlady, originally from Winnipeg, Manitoba, but I've pretty much grown up in and around the Edmonton area.
From your youth, maybe in Manitoba or later, what are some of your earliest memories of playing any kind of unorganized, maybe street hockey, ball hockey, anything related to ball hockey that you might have been so much, even if it was ringette or anything? Do you have any memories of that?
I'm going to say probably when I was about, 8, 10 years old, somewhere in there. I lived next door to 3 young guys, and street hockey was the name of the game. I honestly don't know how we never got run over by cars because we pretty much blocked off the whole street in Sherwood Park, and it was intense. We had a little cup. I think somebody stole their mom's mixing bowl, and away we went. And we thought we were this close to the NHL, like the girls and the guys. Like we were close, man. And it was a hoot. We played that. I don't even know for how many years we were out on the street.
Let me ask you this: did you play any other organized sports before you became involved in organized ball hockey?
Yes, I did. I played Little League ball in Sherwood Park. Also played ringette for a number of years out in Sherwood Park. And then I got involved with ice hockey. And with some of the players from that team, they had just started playing a new game called ball hockey. And that just roped me right into that right away.
So how did you join that ball hockey league when you first played in? Was it because a friend asked you to get involved? Did you answer a newspaper ad? How exactly did you get involved with that ball hockey team?
Some of my teammates, there was Michele, Patry, Brenda Head. I played organized ice hockey with them out in Ardrossan. And if memory serves me right, they were already on this team, and I just sort of, came along with them one year at the beginning, and I was on the team. So that's pretty much how that started.
How old were you when you first played? And were the players that were on the team with you, were they approximately your same age?
They were, I think they're about 5 years younger than me. It was probably back in I want to say maybe the mid 80s, I think. I'm not actually sure, but the timeline would be somewhere in the 80s when all that took place.
And were the players similar age to you, or did you find yourself with a bunch of youngsters or people that are a little bit more veteran?
You know what? I think it was a good mix. We had some of the young kids, I think at the time they're probably like mid-20s, maybe early to mid-20s. And of course, I was in the later 20s. And we had I think we had some older, mature players on the team that were more like, the grinders. They're, slowing down a little bit, but they, you didn't want to upset them because they've carved a lot of turkeys in their time and they know how to use a stick. So we listened to what they said.
Do you remember the name of the first team that you played on in the organized ball hockey league?
I did. I was a member of the Stingrays.
Do you remember some of the players that you played with in the Stingrays that you might remember well or that were an influence to you?
Well, of course, there was Michele, Patry, Brenda Head, Gail Michael, Belinda Rasmussen, the late Tina Kristensen. Who else was there? Honestly, that was a great team. I probably should look at some pictures and just to refresh, but those guys they were great players. Great players.
Do you remember the names of any other teams that you were involved with throughout the years?
Well, of course, played against Old Abbey a number of times. Those were great games. I coached the Blizzard, and I also was involved with Twisted Sister back in the day.
Let me ask you this here. In comparison to other organized sports that you played, what was your impression of the ball hockey organization once you became involved? How did you feel the organization was run or appeared to run?
I thought it ran really smooth. I never got a sense that there was any disorganization. It was like, the schedule was set. It was good. We went to the rinks. Everything was, the lights were on. There's power, the showers work, that kind of thing. You know what? I thought it was well ran. And I thought that the people that were involved in like the, like the president and all, like the leadership group, I guess it would be, were very approachable. So if there was an issue, it wasn't a big deal to go and just talk to them and, throw out the idea, get some feedback, and it was they were very welcoming to ideas, I guess.
Women's ball hockey had started in other provinces first. The very first women's ball hockey national championship occurred in 1987 in Calgary, with Ontario taking the gold medal in a double overtime exciting finish. Thereafter, in 1988, the Capital City Ball Hockey Association in Edmonton formed the league. When you became involved, what were the biggest hurdles? And you said it was pretty smooth going on there, but what were some of the hurdles that you felt you had to overcome in order to be participating, and B, become competitive?
For myself, of course, I'm not a runner. I'm a plotter. So, I mean, basically learning how to run on cement and to pretend to run fast was one thing. Sometimes it was like the timing of the games. Like for the most part, the games were held earlier on in the evening, so it wasn't a big deal. But if you had an early shift, then you'd have to decide, oh, I can't play this time because I've got to get up in like 4 hours or whatever. That was a bit of a struggle at times, but I didn't find there was a lot of hurdles. Sometimes finding equipment that fit, and that was a bit of an issue at times. But for the most part, I didn't really personally find a lot of hurdles. So I thought it was pretty, it was kind of like it was. I just found it good. I had no problems at all with it.
Did you have any kind of coach on the team when you first started, or coaches on your teams that you played?
Not that I recall. Although the players that were on the team had been captains and assistant captains on teams that they played on, whether it was like basketball teams, hockey, ringette. So we had a lot of knowledgeable people, which worked out really well, because I think that at the age that we were when we started, could we have had a coach? We might have. Would we have listened to them? I don't know. But you know what? People grew up with playing with the same people, so that when they had their opinions on what was going on the floor, we just sort of just listened to them, because they knew what they were talking about, and we actually believed what they were talking about too. So we just had some great leaders on our team.
As far as the officiating of the game goes, in the initial few years of women's ball hockey, there was only male officials that were the referees on the floor, and over the years, women soon became officials also. Just an opinion of yours: did you find any difference between the male referees and the female referees? Not in the quality, but in the perception of how they saw the sport.
I know that at times when we have male referees, I mean, emotions run high, things are said, blue streaks are mentioned. There's a lot of stuff. I found that sometimes when the guys were reffing, they weren't as, I don't know, they seemed to be quick to penalize, right? Where with women, at times they were a little bit easier to approach. So and I've done that, where you come up to a ref, you don't agree with the call, and you just, this one in particular is just like, what, I totally don't agree with the call. I want to swear. I know I can't, because you'll toss me in the box. And the reply was, what, I totally get it. I understand where you're coming from, and I appreciate you not swearing, kind of thing. So it was a little bit, I don't know, easier to talk to the female refs. I don't know, they just kind of gave us, I felt, a little bit more leeway. They weren't as quick to, if you drop a word or two towards them, I don't think they took it as personal as sometimes the guys did. That was just my opinion.
And that's what I was looking for. The truthfulness is the fact that you were able to communicate in a different way, with the different genders and or officials at the time. And that's how everyone is. They don't know they don't know exactly what to expect if they were to lose their cool, if we call it that.
Yeah.
But what it comes down to is the matter of player safety. How did you feel about the player safety in the sport for women's? Did you think it was equal to, better, or lesser than other sports or other men's league?
Well, I mean, you're not like if you compare like ball hockey to ice hockey, the speed's not there, right? Like, I mean, somebody can go flying into the boards when they're playing ice hockey and they could get seriously hurt. In ball hockey, I mean, I've wrecked my ankles enough times playing ball hockey. You know, that's not necessarily a safety concern for the league. It's more of my issue. I didn't really see a lot of stick work. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was like stick work, like there's cross check slash the whole 9 yards. At one point, I do remember when we didn't have to wear cages or anything like that. And I remember we were at a provincials, I think in Medicine Hat, and old Abby was playing, I think, a Calgary team, and one of the defensemen took a shot, and all of a sudden the C parts, and a defenseman who was not wearing a cage got like a shot right in the face, and there's blood everywhere. And I'm just like, wow, that to me just seemed like a crazy thing not to wear a mask, right? Or even a visor. Like I used to play the first few years with just a visor until I got a shot that bounced off the bottom and went down my lips and down my chin. And I had this beautiful burn mark for about a week. So after that, it was just like, okay, there's a reason why there's cages for your helmets. And from then on in, I just wore a cage just for that safety reason alone.
Some of our viewers might not know, unless they've seen the games, is that they would notice that men, especially the mature and higher level ones, wear the minimum protection in the helmet wise. They wear a lightweight helmet. They don't wear goggles. They don't wear a face shield or a full fat mask. Whereas in the women's, it tends to be much more protection that they wear. And so I'm glad you brought that up, because that was clearly, an obvious reason why you would want to wear it,
Oh, yeah.
So thanks for that little bit of insight. Let me ask you this question. Were you involved in the sport in any other way other than being a player? You did mention for a little while that you did coaching. Were you a referee, a coach, or a manager in any sort?
I was only a coach. You know what? I bark too much at the referees ever to go down that road, because you know what? Those who can don't, or those that don't can't. I don't know what that saying is, but I would never be a referee. I know I would not be good. But I was a coach, which I mean, maybe some people think I wasn't good at that either. But I coached the 3 teams, and I had a gas. It was a lot of fun. You get to coach your friends, and yeah, we weren't a powerhouse by any stretch, kind of thing. But I think we caused a little bit of havoc, or at least I hope we did, with the teams that were higher up. So yeah, that was a lot of fun being a coach for sure.
A number of years ago, they classified the different levels of play by tier levels. So they called the Division 1 players of men's Tier 1, and lower divisions Tier 2, etc. Then they recategorized them and they call them A, men's B. Now there's women's A, women's B, etc. What was the highest level that you played ball hockey at over your years? Was it only at one level you played at, or did you play at multiple levels?
No, only played in level A. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was the only thing that was offered. I don't know if I would have gone down, because all my friends were great ball hockey players. So you just kind of stay with them. And but yeah, I only coached and played in the top division.
What about provincials and regional or national championships? Which ones did you attend, and which ones do you remember?
Well, I know I played in both provincials and nationals. Provincials, we could never get by old Abby. They were our nemesis. We just couldn't beat them. But we had some great games against them. I know we went to Medicine Hat one year, and I don't even remember where we finished. We did participate in nationals when, or I participated in nationals when it was held in Edmonton, and we came in second, and we lost in, I don't know if it was overtime or double overtime, to Ontario that year. And then I left the team after that. I went on to coaching, and then the Stingrays actually won the next year nationals. So, and I think they won in '94, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So.
Great. So then let me ask you, what are some of your favorite memories as an individual, and favorite memories that you have with the team or teams?
Well, I think my favorite one would be, when even though we lost the gold medal game when the Nationals were here, that was a great year. Like that whole year was like, it was perfect. You know, we tried so hard, like I was saying earlier, could never beat Old Abbey. We finally beat them. Actually, you know what? No, that was my favorite memory of all time, was actually beating them, because we had worked so hard and we just couldn't break them. Like it was just like, no matter what we did, they were just that half a step faster or just a little bit better. But in that semifinal game when we came against them, like finally, you know, finally to be able to put that to rest, and it was nice to finally beat them the one time for me anyway. So that's okay.
Are you still involved in ball hockey in any way?
I am not. It's probably been about, I'm gonna say probably 10 years since I've coached. I'd have to look at the picture, because the last time I was involved in ball hockey, the team that I coached, we won the league, right? So there's a picture of me holding this trophy. I'd have to look and see if I can see at least the year on that thing, but no, I'm no longer involved, sadly. So
Did you have any other family members that played the sport of ball hockey?
no, surprisingly I didn't. My sisters were, even though they were coordinated, they just didn't see the point of running. So no, there was just me.
What advice would you give to someone that wanted to play the sport of ball hockey?
Well, the cliche is just go out and have fun, but the reality of it is, you know what, you just need to be prepared. Like have decent shoes. I think that was honestly one of my downfalls. I don't think I wore the right shoes. You know, I had good shoes on, but they weren't for like the floor. You need the right shoes for the floor that you play on, because you know, bad knees, bad back, and some of it was from the job that I had, and I think some of it was from ball hockey. So I think the equipment's really important. But it's yeah, if you got a chance to play ball hockey, I'd just do it, man. You'll have a gas. It's one of the best, I think, sports out there, other than, you know, a couple other ones. But for summertime, I don't think you can beat it.
Is there a person, if they were here right now, that you would want to personally thank for getting you involved in the sport of ball hockey?
You know, I would, not just one person, but I just think that whole first team that I played on, man, they made it easy. I mean, I play hockey, right? So ball hockey is quite similar. You know, it's a lot of fun. And I'd probably say if I could actually meet those girls one more time, I mean, we're all over the place, right? And of course, sadly, you lose contact in that. And but you know, if I got them in a room, I think that we would, you know, sit down, have a, you know, a couple beers or whatever, thank them, and hopefully be able to carry on for the next 40 years, and, you know, hopefully not lose touch this time. So
Now, the sport of ball hockey has grown not only very well in Canada nationally, but it has grown internationally with what is known as the ISBHF organization, which runs the World Championships. Right now, since COVID hit, it's changed a little bit, but it's virtually every 2 years that they hold these championships, and they're done at all levels of play, men's, women's, under 17, etc. And there's even a men's master. Now, that's not the caliber of play. That's the older aged players playing the sport. Hopefully there'll be a women's masters and sometime soon at that level. So what do you see or hope to see for the future of the sport of ball hockey?
because I probably would fall into that masters category, I think that would be a great thing for them to maybe think about, maybe give it a trial kind of for one of the tournaments. I mean, I understand that when you get going up in age, it's not so much, you can always find the forwards and the defense, but I just recently played in the Canadian Senior Women's Hockey Championships, and one of the issues was trying to find a goalie, because it's like everyone goes, well, yeah, well, I've played in net before, not a big deal. I can't touch my toes. Oh dear God. Like, I mean, what happens if I have to like kick my leg out? I'll probably pull a groin or a hamstring. So I think that would be the only problem I could see with having a masters team, is you got to make sure that you have a goalie. But I think it would be great if they could actually open that up somehow. I don't know if they can, but it'd be great if they could.
Do you have any comments or personal stories you want to tell right now of your own?
I can't think of anything, but I do have to give a shout out to one of my old roommates, Holly Malinowski and Tammy Garrett. Even though they were old Abbey players, and even though we were friends and stuff like that, man, it was always fun. Like the little barbs and stuff that you give one another. Mo Highland, man, we had some fun, even though they were on the other team. It was yeah, they were good guys. But yeah, I can't think anything else. It was a great experience. I'm so glad that I was able to play. Because sometimes you don't hear about certain sports, right? It's not until you get past that optimum age, and all of a sudden somebody says, "Oh man, you should have come out and played for our team." It's like, I didn't even know there was a league, right? So I think pretty much everybody knows about ball hockey now, but back in the day, it's a lot of times like friends were like, "What are you playing?" Like they had no idea. But I think now it's pretty much out there.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. We hope to see more of you.
I appreciate this. This was great reminiscing, and now I think I'm back in my 30s.
Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome. Thank you.